There's our nice Zoom meeting telling us that the recording is in progress. So my name is Mike Willett. I'm really happy to bring you today a little presentation on how you guys can essentially steal everything that I'm doing in my own business to be generating 40 plus leads each and every week. I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you the exact ads that I'm using so that there's, you can essentially steal them, implement them in your own market, and you'll be off to the races in no time. So just, I'm acquainted with a couple of you guys, but if you want to just let me know what part of the either Canada or United States you guys logging in from, just drop that in the comment. We'd love to know where everyone's coming from. Got SoCal, awesome. What part of SoCal, Chris? Awesome, Riverside County. Not entirely familiar with that, mostly familiar with like Newport, all that. We got Jenna from Ottawa. Give everyone a little chance to share where they're from before we jump into the slides here. Cincinnati, Newport, Huntington Beach. Nice, great area. Great area. Spent a little bit of time in Costa Mesa myself. It was pretty awesome. Perfect. So we'll jump into this because I want to be, I have no doubt. It's a pretty beautiful, beautiful spot to be. We're going to jump into this. I want to be cognizant of your guys' time. I've also left a healthy amount at the end of this presentation for questions. I'll also be sharing some resources on how you can connect directly with me one-on-one or jump into our Facebook group where we're going to be coaching all the intricacies of actually setting up campaigns, all that kind of fun stuff. So without further ado, I want to jump into our presentation for the day. So just to make sure that everyone can see my my slides here, just before I jump in and make it the presentation. Got to move that slideshow. We got everyone who can see this. We're all good. Give us a little thumbs up if you can. Awesome. Looks like we are good to go. Beautiful. Gonna minimize this chat here. All right, so today we're going to be talking about how to generate 40 leads each week like clockwork. And my name is Mike Willett. I'm a past marketer for real estate agents turned realtor. And usually you kind of go the other way around. I just found that I love seeing the look in people's eyes when they finally buy their first dream or their investment properties, as well as making sure that we can minimize the headaches on the seller side of things. So in the next 30 minutes or so, what I promise you is by the end of this time, you will have the exact system, no kind of loose ends anywhere, that I use to pull in over 40 leads each and every week. Even if you have no tech experience, a limited budget, which a lot of new agents do, or you've actually never spent any time in a marketing or copywriting course. This is going to be a done for you system. It's going to be super simple. And if you guys have questions, like I said, I don't have the chat directly accessible to me, but we will reference it at the end of the presentation. So in the next 45 minutes, set aside your distractions. I know there's a lot on the go. We have our cell phones probably right beside us. We might have a deal closing. If it's a deal closing, go do it. That's more important. It's better to make money, come back and watch the replay. Focus on the content and ask your questions, write them down. We will discuss them at the end. That's a promise. So who the hell am I and why am I sitting here talking to you? So my formal education is in business, marketing and advertising, and psychology. I spent far too much time in school when I was younger and ended up with 3 degrees that kind of make this really cool mix of, being able to present an interesting idea to a cold audience and then go and convert them. So I've worked over 10 years marketing and advertising for high performing realtors. I was chatting with a couple of people that we had run ads with. And just last year, a realtor out in New Brunswick had closed 117 deals. And 86 of them had been directly attributed to cold marketing campaigns that we had been running. So the system works, and I'm going to show you exactly how to make the most of it. And again, I'm a certified or preferred partner on most digital marketing or social platforms. And I say most because TikTok does not have anything yet. And it is an incredibly powerful marketing tool. If you are not using it, be sure to get on it. We're going to talk about TikTok kind of in one of our other training sessions. It is a little bit more involved. You got to get yourself in front of a camera, and you may need a couple of pieces of equipment to do so effectively, but we will talk about it later. It's pretty cool. So the big question, what would it mean to your business if you were getting an extra 100 qualified leads each and every month? And what I mean by qualified, I mean they're exclusive. They tell you roughly how much they can afford, even better if they're pre-qualified, and you get name, number, email, and address. What would that mean for your guys' business? I'm going to check the chat now just so I can see what that's going to mean to you guys. 100 qualified leads each month for you guys to go and follow up with. What would that mean for your business? Eliminate a lot of headache and time for sure. Awesome. Thanks, guys. And it would also likely mean that you're pulling in a lot more GCI, right? Which allows you to continually expand on your systems, hire on the right kind of help to make sure that you can actually scale your business accordingly. There's a lot of benefits to having a solid stream of qualified leads. We're going through a bit of a correction right now, and it would absolutely help you have a more robust business. I recently heard something, and it said something along the lines of, if your lead generation is not happening, the rest of the parts of your business likely don't matter. And that's true. If you have no one to go out and share your expertise with, to share your knowledge with, to charm, you don't have a business. So that's why lead gen is likely the most important thing that you could be doing today to change your business. So I always like to hear from high-performing realtors, and those who have been in the business for a while always give me the I only work on referral, which first of all is likely total BS. Second of all, you can talk about being on referral, but you've still done a lot to get that point, right? Implementing this system does not mean that you stop receiving leads from your professional network, your other clients, agents, and brokerage leads, but you're actually going to start generating more leads. So you're taking a little bit more ownership of the process. You're going to invest a little bit of time, maybe a little bit of money, and you're going to start generating your own exclusive leads. And this is going to make your business stronger, more profitable, and far less cyclical than other agents in your city. Others are going to be complaining that there's not enough business. You're going to be sitting there from a position of abundance, knowing that at any given time, you have the capacity to reach a large number of people. First step is traffic, right? If you don't have traffic, if you don't have leads coming in, you don't have a business. And when I was in my first 90 days, this is exactly what I set up to make sure that I had an abundance of leads. On the left-hand side, Google Business Profile. Free to set up. It's free to set up, easy to use. You get visible on one of the leading search engines, and you appear in local listings and maps. So what that means is, let's say someone has seen you at an open house and they go back to Google and go, what was that guy's business name again? I just remember, Mike Willett. Well, that's how they found me, right? So through Google Business Profile, I've had 2 buyer leads and 1 seller come in the last week, and I virtually did nothing. I'll send you a direct link to setting up and optimizing your Google Business Profile, and you will have it mapped out, done within a few days. And I say a few days because you actually have to wait for a verification from Google Business, and that is what takes the most amount of time. Now, on the other side, the more push style advertising, I took on some meta ads. So meta is Facebook and Instagram, and I went even further. I only did Facebook. It tends to be an older audience. That older audience is generally a little bit more ready to take action on buying or selling. I used a $10 a day budget, which at $300 a month is quite a meager budget. And I was getting leads at under $2. It can integrate directly with your CRM, no matter what you use, whether it's KV Core, High Level, MailChimp, whatever it is. There's the capacity to use a program called Zapier and bring in all your leads directly to your CRM without any issue. And using these meta ads, I've actually had 40 leads in the last 7 days. Now, a lot of agents will say, Facebook doesn't work, Instagram doesn't work, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. I'm telling you that the proof is in the pudding, right? So let's take a look at it. And this is my full campaign for August 2022. I spent $225.57. pulled in 109 leads, and I've had 6 buyer rep agreements signed. So where I am, the average pre-qualification for these 6 people is 638,700. Now, most of the time, I'm going to, close maybe, I think the average is about 80%. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some numbers and I'm going to suck. I'm going to only close one of them. The other side of things, the seller listing appointment completed, the value of that listing is $2.2 million. So that is someone who inquired on the buyer side of a campaign because they were curious about what was happening around Ottawa. And they also have a farm ready to sell. So return on ad spend is single-handedly the most important number that you need to look at as a business. So on the buyer side, we had 6 total opportunities. The industry average is about 80% of a pre-qualified buyer under contract is going to do business with you. But as I told you, I'm a terrible salesperson and I only close one of those people. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing an offer on a property. So this is a real-time event. So 638,700 times 2.5% for our split. We're looking at 15,967. After my split of 80%, I'm going to be walking away with 12,774. After I clear my cap, that's going to go up to 100%. So that's an amazing opportunity to get that extra cash. Now, even after an 80% split, I'm still 56.5 times my return on investment, or 5,562 and 99%. That's a huge investment. That's a great return. If you knew anyone that would ever trade $225 for 12,774, they'd be an idiot not to. Now, on the selling side, this is where it gets super exciting. We got a $2.2 million listing, drop the commission rate to 2%. We're looking at 44,000. After the split, that's $35,200 or 156 times my investment, right? If you could do this like clockwork month over month, what would hold you back from investing in this system to get things up and running? And it's just a thought, right? This could drastically change the outcome of your business. And like I said, this is in 1 month. So even if we had a couple slow months going into our winters, where I live, our winters are pretty bad. So, anything that closes during there is a bonus for me. So this is a pretty great opportunity and it's super simple to implement. And I'm going to show you the exact ads in a couple minutes here. Here's the second part of how to get this system up and running is you have to follow up with your leads on the phone, right? You call them, you might get the voicemail, you call them, they might screen it. You have to get them on the phone. You got to talk with them and you got to do so as quick as possible. Now, I have it set up so that when a lead comes in, I get a text message immediately to call them, right? That's a notification setting that I've created in Zapier. So a lead comes into my KV core, it automatically sends me notification. I give them a call and I just say, hey, it's Mike from EXP. Looking forward to chatting with you. Is there anything I can do to help? That voice means the world to a lot of people. If for whatever reason I can't get a hold of them, or they're not home or I'm busy, I also have a text and email drip campaign that runs on autopilot with 45 touches across 180 days. This is an incredibly powerful tool. 20 minutes before starting on this, I actually received an email back saying, hey, thanks so much. I got the list, saw your buyer tips, and I'm curious, do you service this part of Ottawa? And I was like, yep, absolutely. We'll get you set up with a search notification. When the seller leads come in, or if you're having difficulty with, the do not call list, or you're having difficulty connecting with them, use a handwritten note, right? So on the seller side, sometimes we only get an address. Unfortunately, that's not a super high quality lead. However, I know their address. So I'm sending them a handwritten note and they're going to see, my name, my number, my email, and the fact that I'm acknowledging that they are on a selling journey. I might give them a couple tips and we're off to the races. Now, fulfillment. This sounds like such a no-brainer, but the problem is I have had conversations with sellers and buyers alike on the phone that go, well, that's interesting. I've opted to receive this information from a couple of sources, and you're the only one that has contacted me, or you're the only one that actually let me have a CMA for my property. do what you tell them you were going to do, right? They want to know that you're going to follow through, that you have integrity, strong work ethic, and that you are going to be there at every step of the journey, giving them the information that they need in order to transact on property healthily, right? You want to make it seamless for them. And by doing so, you are going to put yourself above the crowd. You're going to put yourself ahead of other agents who, simply rely on automation and they don't call, they don't do what they say they're going to do. And then all of a sudden, they wonder why that client or that prospect went ahead with somebody else. And in my city, I know that my fulfillment or my follow-up and my fulfillment is placing me ahead of other agents. So I promised you guys at the start that I would share the exact ads that I'm using. And I didn't blank anything out. So you know that this is the exact account, the exact wording, the exact call to action. These are the exact ads that are currently running in my city through one of my pages. And there's nothing hidden. Feel free to take a snapshot of it. Feel free to write it down, whatever that might be. There they are. And I know there was a couple people from Ottawa, so if I see you guys doing it, don't worry, I will change my ad, right? Do you guys need another couple minutes to make sure that you get this information in? If so, I will give you a couple minutes so you can take your screenshots, all that fun stuff. Let me know when you have this done. Good. So are we all good, guys? Everyone's got that taken down? Drop a yes or I'm ready or whatever to move on to the next slide. John's ready to move forward. Awesome. Chris gave us a thumbs up. Perfect. Anybody else need a couple minutes? Looks like we are good to go, guys. Now, as I mentioned, there are people in here from Ottawa in my city, and they can absolutely steal those ads. Now, there is something interesting that happens. Generally, when I have a longer ad that's running, I start to see that ad come up with other agents. That's an instant showing to me that A, I'm doing something right, but B, it's time to remain a step ahead. Now, even if nobody steals my ads, there is something called ad fatigue. Facebook, Google, any of these advertising platforms are in the business of making money. So over time, the results that you will get from your ads will decay. These particular ads have been running for about a month and a half and don't show signs of slowing yet. Now, I'm sure I could leave this conversation today, go check on what I'm running, and it's possible that my lead cost has jumped up. And that's a great signal to me that it's time to change it up. So here are some best practices to keep your ads fresh. And a lot of it comes down to A/B testing. Test different headlines, call to action, body. Number two, you test your different creative. From a creative standpoint, I use Canva. I walk up, I put a little grid in Canva, drop some pictures in there, and that seems to continually be the best performing creative because people are scrolling through their feed. And all of a sudden they see a house that, might be around the corner from them or looks similar to something that they've seen in the city that they would love to buy. It catches their attention. Facebook specifically has, I think, about 11 different advertising objectives. And the way they classify their audience is they're going to look at video viewers. They're going to look at people who engage with the posts. They're going to be looking at people who actually convert via lead forms. And they're going to look at people who click through to Facebook off towards a website. So there's a ton of different ways to target people based on their behavior. And that goes into the fourth position where, test different targeting mechanics, right? To run a real estate ad, you have to claim that it is a special ad category. And they do limit your demographic targeting to a certain extent. They also limit your geographical targeting. So you can go down as far as postal codes, right? Which is a very good strategy where if you have a specific neighborhood that you want to target, you have the opportunity to mostly get quite honed into that specific area, and you can call them out specifically. So these are ways that you can absolutely work to keep the fatigue low. And being a step ahead is really what's going to make or break the success of a campaign. So as you go, you have the exact system. This is exactly what I'm using. But what we want to do is we want to take it a bit further, right? So we've started up a private Facebook group. It's a really interesting opportunity for you guys to join in the group, have a discussion with us directly, and get the resources or the help, not just from me, my team, and the people that I know, but also other agents that might be able to share some really interesting opportunity. Now, if you are watching this on your desktop, you can pull out your phone, you can scan that QR code. If you are watching this as a replay, pause the screenshot it. If for whatever reason it doesn't work, leave us a comment below. We'll be able to manually invite you to the group. We'll connect with you. And this is a very valuable tool, right? You want to surround yourself, especially if you're a new agent, with high-performing agents that are actually willing to help you. One of the things is we do these every Friday, and there's a continual trend where a new agent gets involved with their brokerage, and all of a sudden the support's gone, right? This is a way to get that support when you feel like it's missing. There's agents that are from every brokerage in there, every walk of life, and there's no such thing as a stupid question. We like to answer, or we do our best to answer everything. All right. Now, one-on-one assistance. I'm also going to leave this here. This is a direct link to my personal Calendly. If you are interested in getting these ads up and running, and maybe you don't have the tech experience, feel free to book a 30-minute call. It's no charge. We will run through the business manager side of things because we do want to run ads through the business manager, not just through a boosted post. This is a way for you to connect directly with me. We will walk through every component of setting up the ad, setting up your payment for the ad, everything that you need to know from start to finish. If you have a CRM, I'll share with you my 180-day follow-up. Usually on most CRMs, it's the simple matter of click this link, we'll upload it, and then you have to go change Mike to your name, Ottawa to your city. Super simple. You'll be able to get email, text, voicemail drops, whatever you need, I'm there for you. So again, you can scan both of these, get involved, get connected with us. And it's something that we are doing this from a position of abundance. We have knowledge that unfortunately is not available across the entire real estate industry. And the better equipped you are to educate your clients, right? Eventually we'll be on the other side of a table on a deal. And if you know what you're doing and you're a high quality marketer and you're able to make the most for your client, it means it's an easier deal for us to close. So I think realtors can do wonderful things by working together. And that is exactly why I have set up this to be the way that it is. So I hope you guys see in our private Facebook group, or, you direct with a one-on-one, that would be amazing. The other thing I want to do is drop your Instagram, your TikTok, your Facebook handles, whatever that might be. We're going to do a recap and send out an email to make sure that we share everybody's Instagram, TikTok, and let's all go support each other, right? One of the best ways to get known on those platforms is by having people who follow and actually engage with your content, right? Just recently, I experienced a really big jump up on my Instagram to just shy of 5,000 followers. And I was coasting along at a couple hundred for a while. And the turning point for me was implementing fairly basic but regular strategies that we're actually thinking about talking about next Friday. So if you guys are interested, send us a quick email. I want to make sure that you can join me next Friday as I talk about the journey that I have been on, and to get to that, almost 5,000 followers. And that's kind of an exciting time, right? A lot of people look to social media for social proof. The higher amount of followers, the more engagement you get, it gives the facade of being an authority. And if you actually back that up with knowledge and credentials or charm or whatever that might be, you will be that authority and you will be the person that people reference. So again, we got our private Facebook group on the left, one-on-one on the right. And I want you guys to leave in the chat any of your social media handles, we will share them with the rest of our network. There's only a couple of people on this call. However, we do have a larger email list that we want to make sure that everybody has a fair shot of growing organically. So we're going to close this off. We're going to go to a picture of me again. And I want to really answer any questions that you guys might have in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So if there have been questions, drop them in the chat. We're going to address them. I've talked for a while, so I'm going to have some water. And if you're too shy to ask a question in the chat, feel free to send it in an email, ask it in the one-on-one. Like I said, we want to make sure that you guys got the most out of it. And if you are all good, say all good. You know, give us a rating 1 to 10 on how valuable you think this content might be. I have thick skin, I won't be hurt, and I want to make sure that you guys are getting what you want out of it. We are all good, Chris. Awesome. So it sounds like everyone's pretty ready to just go for lunch now. Awesome, guys. So we're just going to close it off here a couple minutes early. Like I said, connect with us in our Facebook group, connect with me directly with our one-on-ones. Happy to help you guys get this system up and running for you. It is super easy. I will also send an email with our YouTube link so that you can follow along as you set up, verify, and optimize your Google business profile. It's an incredibly valuable tool. And again, it's free. It takes one post every 7 days. So it's a fairly low effort platform, and it is there. Right? It is easy. People will reference it quickly. And it's just another step in building your digital authority. So I thank you guys for joining us today. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and have a super successful weekend. We'll be stopping the recording now. And if you guys have questions, just feel free to send me an email or connect with me on Instagram or TikTok, and we will get those questions answered. Thanks, guys. Bye.